Hi, this is Trina again. Here, this is part two of all the things that's happened in my life. That's where the cops have failed me. Okay, well, I guess we all can say it started out in Bathurst. I lived in Hamilton. I decided to move to Bathurst because really there was not much keeping me there. My parents moved away and stuff. And that way, my daughter's father could spend, not lose any of his time because she was starting school. So he would still have her like half the time Monday to Friday, Friday to Monday, one week, and Friday to Tuesday the next week. So anyway, so
Stop when you want.
no. Anyway, my hair is purple here because my son D'Angelo dared me to do this, and I did it.
Did you get that all set up there? You gonna take a shower?
Anyway, so just before I did leave Bathurst, I would say I was 8 months pregnant, and we were living on O'Leary Street in Hamilton, New Brunswick. Now the cops had been called by somebody, I don't know who. It was a very large building. They asked us, I said I have no idea who called, and so on. Anyway, needless to say, I was quite big at 8 months with my daughter Alexis. They took my son aside and made a statement to him saying, I know your mom's beating on you, being physically abusive. Of course, he's like, hey man, like, you're way off, buddy. Like, he was 12 years old at the time. He's like, my mother's never ever put a hand on me, ever. And at 8 months pregnant, I don't think I would have chanced it either, because he was a pretty big boy. So it took quite a few people to hold me back to not go out and say something, which probably was for the best. So anyway, I moved here when my daughter was 5 years old, so she could start school in Bathurst, where her father lives, so that he wouldn't lose any time with her, right? So I moved to a place in Bathurst. It was a 2-bedroom. I still have my son living with me. It was the year after he graduated. I had gotten a phone in the mail. I wasn't told that my sister had sent me a phone, so I wasn't really expecting it. But the next door neighbor said, no, that's mine, and she took it. And not half an hour later, I was informed that she indeed did send me a phone because it had gotten stolen by the same neighbors. They also frauded my account for $1,300. Also, a $6,000 bedroom set. Anyway, a lot of things. And so the call came for me to write a statement about my phone, right? And how it had been stolen and how I knew who had taken it, and so on. I did eventually get it back, but instead of doing that, he decided to go to child services and say to them that all I had was a mattress on my floor in my room, like I said, I had a $6,000 bedroom set. So it was not on the floor. He also mentioned how there was no sheets or blankets or anything on the bed, and you know, it was messy and so on. But then in the next breath he said, well, all the sheets and blankets on the bed had holes, burn holes all through them. Which I don't understand, like either my bed's on the floor with no sheets, or my bed's on the floor with a bunch of burnt sheets. I didn't even own a sheet that had a burn mark on it because I didn't smoke in my home because of my daughter. So as far as that went, Child Services did get involved. He made up a lot of accusations that were not true. I really do wish that one day maybe someone will surprise me and a cop will actually help me in my life. But so far it hasn't happened, and I'm 45. And like I said before, in my first part, they were too afraid of my father to go, even though I called back 3 times, begging for their help at the age 9 to 12. And they never did come. I mean, I called back 3 times, everything. Now, I learned from my parents' mistakes, and I like to think of myself as a really great mom. And I really, really love being a mom. So, the other night, I had gone to the store. It took me 5 minutes to go to the store to grab a package of cigarettes. And I've been telling the cops that the father of my child was always stalking me and watching me. And, you know, like all my friends would say, hey, you know, there he goes by again, and so on. I wasn't gone any more than 5 minutes. He decided to go to my home. I have a 20-year-old son, which was more than capable of taking care of her for 5 minutes while I went to the store, of course. And he loves her with all his heart. That's his little sister. But within that 5-minute time, he had been watching me, and he pulled in and he went to the door and he lied to my son and said that I said it was okay to bring her to the fireworks, because he knows that my son would never have let him just take her. So when I come back and she wasn't there, I was extremely upset. And he made me feel like I was putting my child in some kind of danger, which was not the case. That's the longest I've ever even left my child alone with my son, was 5 minutes. She goes everywhere with me. Anyway, I called the police to see what I could do, and I told them, like, you know, we have an agreement. I had put in both of my papers with my son at 20 years old, 20 years ago, and also with my daughter 7 years ago, that neither parent was to talk badly about the other parent in front of the child, because it really messed me up growing up, you know? So, which he has never honored that. He has always put me down in front of her. I try so hard to avoid that in any way and try to walk away. But when I was with him, he always made me afraid to say anything to him, like, because he would yell and get mad, and being hormonal and all that and pregnant, you know, that wasn't easy. So a lot of times I just never told him. You know, a certain person would come over or whatever. Like, not that I was doing anything wrong. It's just that he was very judgmental, and I feel like he thinks he's better than a lot of people, which of course we're not, and I am certainly not perfect. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life that I'm trying not to make the same mistakes with my daughter that I made with my son. Both my kids are spoiled rotten, put it that way. I have a really hard time disciplining them. But her father is very, very, very disciplinary. I did inform him this day that I had child services coming to see me. And prior to that, he had yelled at her because he said, "You're lying, just like your mom. You said you were tired and that's why you weren't getting ready for school to leave on the bus." All I could do was put my hand on her and you know, just to let her know I'm there. I feel so helpless because I'm scared of him too, you know, to a certain extent, and I don't want to make it worse for her. But I couldn't believe how she was holding it in, like without crying, with him yelling over top of her over these situations. But as soon as he left, she dropped her knees and started bawling. And of course that made me start crying. And I said, "Babe, that must have took an awful lot to hold in. Like, does he get mad at you, you know, if you cry?" And she said, "Yes." He yells at her, and I said, "He makes you feel afraid to tell him anything, right?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Well, you know, he made me feel that way too, you know, so I understand, and I'm here for you." So when the social worker showed up, and my daughter told her the story of what had just happened, even the worker cried and informed me that I should get a lawyer and try to fight this. Now, I've given him joint custody, and I'm sure a lot of people out there know that not a lot of times the mother even allows the father to be in the life, which I don't agree with, and so on, but I actually gave him joint custody, so that he felt that I was treating him as an equal as well. But of course, when he took off with her and I called the police, they never did call me back. I don't think they even called him. There was a constable that called me at the end, and I can't quite remember his name, but if I can remember it in another vlog, I will put it out there, because he was the only cop that did help me and call him, demanding him to bring my daughter back home. I got to spend one day with her, Thursday, and then Friday he took her again, and he chose that week to spend the whole week. Well, she started crying. She's like, "I don't want to go. Like, I want to spend time with you. I miss you." And I said, "I miss you too, babe. But, you know, Papa wants you to go with him, and it's his only week off." And she looked at me like, she's like, "Mommy, I'm so sorry, but I can't hold it in. I can't hold it in." And she cried, and he said, "Why is she crying, you know?" And I said, "Oh, she's just going to miss me." And I asked him if it was okay if I could call her every day, you know, just to make her feel better, you know, just say hi, I love you, or whatever. He refused for me to do that. Then I asked him, could you please, like if she does want to call me, could you please let her? I never did get a phone call, and she said that she did ask several times when she came back on Tuesday this week, and he never let her. But again, the police failed me again. There's absolutely no reason for them not to help me in that situation. I mean, he's been breaking all these agreements that have been made through court on custody papers. He does not follow them. I'm very fair with him, but this isn't about her father. This could be like another vlog completely, but this is about the police, okay? And the Bathurst police has never helped me here either. I really pray to God all the time that some officer out there would just make me feel safe and not, you know, like they care about me, and that they don't treat me a certain way, maybe because I live in housing and whatnot. I don't think it should matter how much money you make or whatever. I think that everybody should have equal rights. They've made several accusations about me and my children many times in the past, and of course they would get child services involved, and at the end of every time, the worker said, listen, like, you're paying me to go and talk to her and visit her because she's a wonderful mom. And a few of them actually said that they would go to court for me because it's not just me, it's my daughter talking to them about it and how she feels. I feel very helpless and very, very much alone. I don't really know a whole lot of people here in Bathurst, but I love my children with all my heart and my soul, and I would die for my children in a split second. I know I'm not perfect, but I feel that I deserve the same rights as anyone else out there, whether they're rich, poor, or in the middle, or whatever. I feel that I'm a human being. And there's so many times that they just never helped us. Like when I lived in housing, they never did nothing, like take fingerprints or nothing, even when I knew who it was that did it. But yet, in housing, I was living in Moncton, there was a person across from me, same place, housing. They did everything, fingerprints, the whole bit. Also had a very large man that was there strike my child, and when I came out and put my hand out to say, like, how dare you, you know, he dug his nails in my arm. I backhanded him. My kid, of course, smashed his glasses with his foot, and he gave me 4 shots to the face. I only felt 2 for some reason. Anyway, once he had me pinned, I knew, like, there was nothing I could do. So I just said, let me go. And when he did let me go, I left, and I moved. I just left because there was other children there at the playground, and that's not something a child should have to see, nor go through. Later on, my friend called the police back because she couldn't believe how big of a black eye I had, And she said, "Are you going to still tell me that this man never hit this woman? Look at her. She has 2 big black eyes. And he broke my nose." And all they said to me was, "Oh yeah, that probably happened when you fell." And I said, "I didn't fall." They didn't believe my son either, so as a child, that really, really makes you feel helpless. And I didn't want the same thing for my children. If there's other people out there that have gone through the same things as me, with the cops and the police, I welcome your statements and comments. If you have any kind of advice for me on things that I can do, they would be greatly appreciated. I will be vlogging more now that my son has helped me to do so. So I guess we'll vlog again another time, and have a great day, and thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for listening, and I can't wait to hear from you guys and your comments. Okay, goodbye.